Hi, Happy New Year's, right? Um, so, no music, no nothing. We're just gonna get on with it. I'm sure, okay, West Coast, it's a little past quarter after two, so it's probably 5 a.m. I'm guessing a lot of you guys bring in the New Year's kind of good. So, that's okay. But, I do want to. I might get a strike for this, and I take my beatings. I know when to go. A little risque. This is a little risky. Hi, Karen. Happy New Year's, honey. I know when to go a little risky, right? So, um, don't you know? Nah, I'm always on the edge. So, no music tonight. No nothing. I um, I really just this was something interesting that I thought y'all might want to watch. It's not very long. I'm not going to stay on the very long. Uh, let's just do it, right? So let's see. I got that. I'm going to have to make sure I turn off my mic so you can hear it good. Enjoy.
In 1994, the World Population Summit in Cairo, Egypt, had 160 nations participate, where they all agreed that the human population was out of control and must be stopped because the world is running out of resources. An agreement was formed that would mandate the reduction of humans from 6 billion to 800 million by the year 2030. This meant finding a method or methods to wipe out nearly 95% of the population. Solutions were discovered, investigated, tested, then created, and have been in full force since. The procedures have been inflicted onto the human race are as follows. 1. Toxic levels of chemically enhanced fluoride have been secretly added to our drinking water over the last 20 years in every city and community on the planet. I personally oversaw the delivery of fluoride barrels to Denver, Chicago, Tampa, and Minneapolis water departments. The adverse effects of fluoride poisoning to the human body are numerous and debilitating. The effects to children is damage to their neurological development, among other serious ailments. 2. Man-made viruses and diseases. The AIDS virus, which is a design and byproduct of the American Disease Institute, was distributed through vaccines to the public in 1980. Instituted as a preliminary population control tactic, the results were successful and led to more lab-produced viruses that have since been unleashed onto the public. Among those is the development of a mutated version of the common flu to replicate the 1918 influenza pandemic that killed 40 million people. The first strain of this new flu virus will be released to the public in late 2017. So if we see a flu outbreak in the late 2017 or early 2018 that's killing people, we'll know this is true. All right. 3. Killing us from the air with neurotoxins, barium chloride, cancer microbes, and viruses by way of chemtrails. Released into the skies daily over all inhabited regions by military aircrafts. The effects of these toxins are severe and over time lethal, causing respiratory ailments, cancer, damage to the immune systems, and sterilization in men. Since the chemtrail plan was implemented, sperm count in men has dropped nearly 50%. If this isn't reversed soon, the human race will face early extinction. Now the grand finale. This is some scary shit. In March 1997, an event known as the Phoenix Lights became the most infamous UFO sighting in history. A mile-wide vessel, clearly not man-made, flew slowly and silently over the state of Arizona and was witnessed by 10,000 people, including the governor of Arizona. To date, there has been no reasonable explanation. But for every witness interviewed, the craft was as real as anything they'd ever seen. Their lives were transformed. They now believe that we truly are not alone. However, there is another truth, for I know what they really saw. 1986, while stationed at an underground installation near Boulder, Colorado, I was introduced to Project Skybeam by Lieutenant General Andrew Garris. I was then led down a corridor and into a large hangar where a stealth bomber hovered only 20 feet above me. I stood there confused, and Garris looked over at me and smiled, then asked if I was certain of what I was seeing. I replied, of course. What else could it be? I was then shocked to find out that this wasn't a real craft. It was a projected hologram. Since the early 1950s, scientists have been developing holographic technology, and over the years improved it to a state that we can only imagine. As I stood there staring at the bomber, which looked so absolutely real and solid that I could reach up and touch it, I contemplated the possibilities. What if this projection was 1,000 feet up in the sky? How would anyone know that that was an illusion? The Phoenix Lights craft, witnessed by 10,000 people, was the first grand-scale Skybeam test upon the public. It succeeded beyond expectations. In October 1938, Orson Welles unleashed his War of the Worlds radio broadcast to the American public. It was so realistically portrayed, vast portions of the population went into panic. Terrified citizens scrambled to evacuate their cities in droves. America had been easily tricked by very simple means. To amplify this response, those who are truly in power, not only our country, but all the countries on the planet, and who are the true purveyors of the depopulation process, have formulated the final stage of their sinister plan. In the year 2024, a global event will alter the course of mankind's future. The world will stand witness to a massive alien invasion. Thousands of projected holographic alien warships will blanket the skies, sending people into a global panic. Real military crafts within the holograms will inflict actual damage to the surrounding areas to self-given. And as a result of the ensuing human chaos, a one-world government will immediately form without any resistance from the people. They will be the new world order. Once this happens, we as a people will be doomed to enslavement and accelerated depopulation. With that said, the only hope for human salvation is to acquire and spread the knowledge of these activities and agendas. Resist, retaliate, and conquer this opposing enemy. The time is now, as humanity is rapidly approaching
Alrighty, guys. So, that was a little something I kind of thought would be cool. And I might get spanked for it, naturally. If anybody, like, wants to come on panel and say Happy New Year's. So, my other computer just totally crapped out. So, I was able to get a refurbished and so I proof you're not. So I'm trying to read the chat. It's New Year's. If anybody wants to come on panel, it should be a lot better than last time because I got a better laptop. And so if anybody wants to come up, I'll let you in, right? Let's just say Happy New Year's. That would be really cool. I got over my cold. I got a cold. It started like Christmas Eve, right? So I just like took my butt around the house. I did all the cooking and, yeah, I made a Christmas feast. Today, yesterday was the first day I was actually out of bed. I was very tired. Oh well, I can't say I was actually out of bed. I actually stayed awake. So any medicine I take, even over the counter, is really bad for me because I have MS. So I have a clean palate. I don't take any medications. So just one little thing to my system can make me sound twisted or screwed up or and I'm not sure if it's acetaminophen or ibuprofen, one or the other. I mean, it just knocks me for a loop. So here it is, my time. It's 2:28, New Year's Day. Happy New Year's. And so I'm just chillaxing. And I got up early this morning, started the pork roast, and I made all the side dishes, and I got a little tired. I fell asleep. I think I woke up 8 or 9 o'clock. I'm West Coast, right? So mostly everybody I know is East Coast. Y'all had New Year's before I had New Year's. So at your time, it's almost 5:30 in the morning. Wake up, America. Hangover or not, Happy New Year's. I probably, maybe I could find something else to latch on to. That might be cool. That we could watch, right? Why not? Um, I thought that was really cool. So that was back from 1994, right? So here was somebody way beyond and actually nailed like 2017, right? I actually saw a picture of the Bahama Mama out there in the Wuhan Wiggle Lab, right? In 2015. So if you don't think any of this is not planned, um, there are climate sickness people out there and they see you as a useless eater. And even though you go to work and you do the slave grind and you work and you pay your bills, and of course, the bankers are in on it. Don't they give you that credit card with like 27% interest? That means, hey, newcomers, millennials, that means for every $100 you put on a credit card, you're going to pay 27, maybe almost $28, right? This is why they want to give you lackeys a little bit of, oh, you don't need math. 2 plus 2 is 5. Yeah. Okay, you just get the bill and you pay it. So if you got a $1,500 credit card, which I do have, right? So they say, oh, it's so easy. You can have everything you want. You can go ahead. You could buy that little bicycle thing for $1,500. Do you know it's going to take you, I don't know, about 10 years to pay it off at $59? But see, you're that dumb and you say, I can afford $59, but I can't afford 1,500. So in the old days, we just used to like put money in an envelope or, right? So everything's about self gratification. And look, I'm a news junkie, right? I don't watch ABC, NBC, any of those places. I go from place to place to place on the internet, right? I do that because I want to know about things. And then somebody says a certain word, I fall down a rabbit hole. And that's the way that happens, right? So it's instant gratification. And yeah, so we gotta have it. We gotta have it now. And if we can't, we just keep going on. But you're making a whole lot of people rich, especially when you want. And look, man, I lived in my car for 9 months, right? I live off of credit cards. And it wasn't because I wanted something shiny and new right now, right? I needed hot food, right? And I could only get it for a certain time. And then, of course, I shared that with my parrot. So, in any event, pay off your credit card debt. Stop giving these climate sickness people the money to do what they're doing. You just need to say no. Pay off the debt. Stop. Really, if you need something, just save for it. I had to do things out of necessity. It wasn't a brand new car. I mean, gosh, it was a Honda Civic, guys. I lived in that thing for 9 months, right? You'd think if I was going to put all that money out, maybe I would have had a luxury car and, I would have been styling. But it was what it was. Pay off your debt. Don't go into debt, because when you go into debt, you are financing these people with this screwed up reality. Look, you know what? You know how we save the earth? Number one, plastic. Stop the water bottles. Get yourself a nice little, a nice little freaking, uh, stop buying plastic water. Get yourself a nice little water filter. Get yourself a nice little steel cup. You don't even need a plastic straw, right? Get a straw that you use all the time. I mean, I don't know, maybe, once a month or something. So just stop. All you little millennials, you walk around with bottled water. You're so cool. Oh, I drink this one. I drink. And that's your social skill? Are you fucking serious? Stop. Stop. Gosh, I love Country Crock, right? So I go through one of those butters, maybe 3 months, right? I'm going to start making my own butter. But let me tell you, I really like that Country Crock on my bread. And you know what I do? I save the container. I don't throw it away. So even your aluminum can has a freaking plastic lining, right? That Pepsi, that Coke, the beer you're drinking, there's this little wacky little freaking plastic is in everything. And I grew up, well, I was born in the 60s. In the 70s, I mean, plastic when it started was Tupperware. I remember we used to get milk delivered in glass bottles, right? Then all of a sudden it turned to plastic. And in the 70s, there were very old people and they used to call it the big C. It was cancer. Guess what? All that plastic, oh, you people that think, oh, I'm so healthy. I'm drinking bottled water. Hi, Esther. I'm drinking bottled water. Yeah, you're not so fucking healthy, right? You're kind of stupid. Get a clue. Get you a good filter system. Get you a good steel cup. Save the environment. And stop listening to what they're telling you, right? They don't really, they don't want you to live to 80. You are a mule, basically. You have a birth certificate. They trade you on a market. Then you start working and you're a walking ATM card for the government. They're just going to take what they want out of your paycheck. Doesn't matter if it's 10% or 30%. You don't have a say in it, right? And meanwhile, all the processed food, your plastic water that you think is so healthy, no, who tests that stuff? You know what? Just look into it. Look into and a lot of people like me, well, not me, drop buys he buys cases of water. And yes, you have to have water in your house in case of an emergency. But do we know what's in that water? I mean, I know what's in my tap water, right? There's, you know, fluoride and stuff like that. I don't think that's so good for you. So, good thing I don't drink a lot of water. Well, I drink a lot of coffee, tea, um, sometimes Pepsi with a little Captain Morgan, but not much. Um, so I guess you could say some of what I drink is boiled anyway. I like milk. I drink a lot of milk. Um, and the hormones did kind of good for me. Nah, yeah, just think about it. I'm a female, so those hormones are okay. But in any event, yeah, we gotta beware, right? Um, just be more conscious. Tomorrow I'm gonna can pears. I made pear jam for the first time. Uh, of course, I'm making more pear wine. It's the second time for that. Uh, so just learn to can and do things more natural. It's healthier. Well, we don't know, and since the CV, right? So what happened is, the supply chain got a little messed up, and the FDA then said people don't have to change the labels. So say if you use Blue Dew, and Blue Dew isn't available, and now it's Green Dew, they don't have to put it on the ingredient label. So, they're making cricket powder, right? Cricket flour or something like that. So if something that you're eating, it could actually be cricket flour, and they don't have to change the ingredient level, right? Nothing on the label. Nothing has to say it. So, someone like me, I'm allergic to shellfish. I would have an allergic reaction and I would end up in the hospital. And that's crazy, right? So, me just selling soap at the farmer's market, um, I have to list my ingredients. If I can't get my ingredients, I have to change the label. But these big corporations, now the FDA is saying, oh, yeah, well, just improvise. How about that? So, it's all by design, guys. And I really hope that people are learning to can, they're learning to grow their own food. There was it Heaven's Harvest? Is a great place to, and naturally, I'm not backed by anyone. I'm like the wild card. I'm not monetized. I'm not supervised. Well, okay, YouTube supervises me. Um, but I think it's called Heaven's Harvest. They have some really great seeds, right? You'll get your, oh, well, your non-GMO seeds there, right? So even if you're in an apartment and maybe you have a little look around, you can grow some things. Anything's better than what they're giving you at the stores. And the stores out here, um, I noticed there's not such of an abundance. There's no empty shelves, except when you go to the pet food, right? So trying to find wet cat food is really, really hard out in Washington. Um, Washington State, not DC. Um, I've had to like have ordered some, because Monk's, she got all but one top tooth removed. So she does need her soft food. She's just all up around me right now. Say hello, monkey. She's purring away. So, so there are certain things, and y'all need to prepare. I'm not the one that says rice and beans, because honestly, I don't eat rice and beans. I could throw some baked beans over rice. I like that. But black beans and rice, you gotta have some variety. When you go to the store, whatever it is that you really like and you enjoy, you know, two is one and one is none. So if you're gonna buy one, buy two. And then just put it back. And I don't know, learn to can, right? I did Rebel canning, and you can turn around and, you know, Rebel canning is really easy. You sterilize the bottle. If you got just a little leftovers, let's say maybe you're not fond of leftovers, or maybe you ate it twice. So you might be able to, I don't know, you know, put up 2 pints, right? And I don't know, if you make a big pot of soup, I always make a big pot of soup, right? I can usually can 6 pints, right? So just do it. And it's home cooked. Yes. Did you have to buy the meat? Yes. Did you have to use okay, yeah. But it's a lot better than buying a can of soup. Who the hell knows what's in that, right? It's all kinds of stuff. So I kind of like my homemade stuff. And I'm getting a nice little rack, of food that I made. I made, ow, oh, I got shocked. I'm always getting shocked. But I help out at the over at the food bank, and I help unload food, and so I stayed around, and I helped give out food, and they had extra stuff. Oh, there was like 2 cases of pears at the end. So apparently pears a lot of people don't like. You can only eat so many pears. I think you could eat more apples than pears. So they had like some extra, and I'm like, wow, yeah, if nobody's going to use them. So I ended up with like 200 pounds of pears, right? So I made pear wine. I froze pears. I made pear jam. I still got pears to deal with, right? So, and then they had like 2 huge bags of onions. And they were like, here, you want these? I'm like, sure, why not? I made French onion soup. And I think I canned 6 quarts, right? French onion soup is really easy to make. You just throw some butter in there, and you almost caramelize the onions, and you just put beef stock, no salt, no pepper, no nothing. So if you get a little brown bread and you toast it up, you can sink it in the bottom and throw a little mozzarella cheese. Bingo! French onion soup. It's yummy and it's filling. So it's just little things like this. And like I said, I got a bunch of potatoes. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to make potato soup. We're going to eat off of that a couple times this week. And I'm going to do some pint jars, right? So I'm not real crazy about what you can find on the shelf canned, especially with potato soup. It's not all that good. I like home cooked stuff. Canning is so easy and it's so much better for you. You put it away in a glass jar. So anyway, guys, these people that are trying to tell you everything about life or what's good for you in life, I don't think they're being all so truthful. I don't think they really like you. And when you look at the narrative, so Trop and I, we were looking at all the different news agencies, right? Because we were like, okay, well, we have in our mind what we think, but let's see what's being pushed to the general public, right? Mm, you know, was it ABC or NBC? They were talking about white hate and how white people are so bad. And, I don't know. I'm white. I've been pretty loving throughout my life. I've helped people. People have helped me. Black family took me in, right? So I'm not racist in any way. Um, I do a lot of charity. So I don't see how me being white makes me bad. Maybe the way I think might make me bad. And I'm kind of like, oh, well, fudge it all, right? Fudge it. But, y'all gotta be patriots. If you're listening to me or you watch me, you're a patriot. Just please do what it is that you need to do. Start putting away a little extra food. I mean, look, the Dollar Tree, you can get a little extra ketchup, a little extra mustard, some spices. Some of them has freezers. We got like frozen raviolis, right? I mean, it's $1.25. You can't be that bad off. I mean, I know I got $1.25 in my change jar. I know everybody uses the debit cards. You need to stop. You can get in trouble with the debit card, especially if you don't have that stop on your debit card. So, like, some people, they don't have the stop. So they use it, it gets paid for it, then they charge you $35. If you're 2 cents over, you're paying $35. You want to talk about extortion? There you go. So there's so many ways. Go to a food bank. There's not one in your town. There's one in your next town. They'll help you. Guys, just start putting stuff back. Things I think are going to get really tough this year. I still want a very happy new year, right? But just start preparing. It's going to be really, really important. What I see coming may not be very good. And even if it turns out well, you're not going to have to spend so much at the grocery store when we have higher inflation. And that Campbell soup goes from now $1.50 a can to $2.50 a can. You can never go wrong when you put a little extra away. Because I remember buying Just a can of vegetables at 39 cents, right? 39 cents. Aldi's, that was out in North Carolina, right? So that same can of vegetables is double now. So, well, of course, I'm out in Washington and prices are really expensive here. In any event, Happy New Year's, guys. Just pray up, prep up, be prepared. Just put a little extra away. I lived up and down the East Coast my whole life. You know, we always had hurricanes to worry about. Let me tell you, that one hurricane in North Carolina, you know, they lost power. And I got so sick from Subway. Yeah, apparently they didn't throw all that food out. They just dished it out. I think that food was bad. I was sick for days. So don't rely on those fast food places because let me tell you what, no, they may not be serving you up the good thing. It'd be best if you had your own stuff. Much love. God bless. Pray up and prep up. Good night, everyone.